give it to chief ministers. You want to respond to that, Nupur Sharma, that this is being seen as a collective effort where both the states and the centre seem to have worked effectively?
Good evening, Rajdeep, Rahul, panelists, and to all viewers. Now, of course, given that all of us living today faced a pandemic of this magnitude for the first time, nobody actually knew what a pandemic actually entails and how it can affect economies and lives and everything related to it. However, I think I would agree with the Prime Minister that he was looking at cooperative federalism. But at the same time, I would also say that if the Prime Minister did not lead from the front, everybody was actually quite lost. I will obviously congratulate a few states who have handled the pandemic really well. Initially, you remember when the first few cases came along, how Kerala managed it really well, but thereon they lost the way somewhere. Delhi supposedly managed well, but thereon twice the central government had to intervene. Maharashtra has been a big question mark, I would say that. However, in totality, you have to understand that I do know there have been state governments who were adamant on hiding the number of infections, not only infections, but COVID deaths. They had a subcommittee and an overreaching committee from the government who decided whether a patient died of COVID or not, and not of doctors exactly. And you know exactly what happened. There have also been instances wherein you remember there was a lot of laborers trying to get to their home states, and how I can tell you, I have the official figures from the rail department, how roughly 1,500 trains or 1,300 trains were actually demanded by a state of Maharashtra, but some 283 actually went empty. So there have been problems. There have been some issues where politics was trying to be played, which was unfortunate. But overall, I would say, if you were to compare India to other countries, we have done really well with only 10.6 million infections in a 138 crore population. I think you compare it to any country, I think we've done remarkably well in controlling
this. I want to come to a part of the study which really makes it that much more significant when it comes to you studying how people perceive the government's performance. And this part of the study deals with the impact that the COVID pandemic had on the economic status of people. So we asked them, did you suffer personally? Was there a decrease in your income? And 66% of the respondents, 2 in 3 people we spoke to, said their income had come down. 19% said they'd lost their job, which means about 85 people out of 100 had been impacted in some way dramatically. Either their income came down or they just lost their job. Only 12% said that there'd be no change, and 3% said their income had increased. Now, this is what makes this stunning. That you think that the government and the Prime Minister are doing a great job when you yourself are suffering immensely on the financial front, Rajdeep.
Because if you look at the next, very next graphic, Rahul, which is the centre's handling of the economic distress due to COVID. So people have admitted that their incomes have decreased. 2 in every 3 have admitted that. Lost jobs is 1 in every 5. That's about 85% have had income decrease or lost job. But ask them, centre's handling of COVID economic distress, outstanding 20%, good 47%, average 22%, poor 8%, very poor 2%. So the same people, it appears, who have suffered are also saying, no, the centre has done a reasonable job of handling the economy.
No, not reasonable. 67% think they've done well. Now, this is not Balakot, this is not the Ram Mandir or Jammu and Kashmir, where it's based on a narrative or it's based on perception. This is based on how you feel about a certain decision of the government, because it impacts you directly. Nothing that the government can or cannot do impacts a person more than having to deal with the virus, because each person is dealing with it. Whereas on Article 370, you're not dealing with it personally. Sanjeev Bagai, what do you make of the fact that about 85% of the people say either their income came down or they lost their job, and yet they think, given this adversity or despite the adversity, the government has done a good job?
Good evening, everyone. I think it's a recognition of what was done correctly. I'll break it up very quickly into 5 different components. I think this is a once-in-a-century pandemic which all of us have faced. I think the nation understood what we were dealing with. We, from a government point of view, state point of view, and the medical fraternity point of view, we appreciated what the government done was to navigate through the initial phase, because it was completely going into an unknown storm. aviate because the day-to-day situation was dynamic and changing. We negotiated the difficult paths, put lives ahead, followed by livelihood, and then looked at various other aspects. Communicate well with the country, and last was innovate. Now the communication was scientific based. There was less amount of misrepresentation. He relied on scientific facts, doctors, researchers, ICMR. We are dealing with a huge crisis of a ever-bulging population with limited infrastructure as far as healthcare is concerned. Yes, people lost their jobs, their pay cuts were there, and other aspects were there. But if you look at the end point, we have the lowest case fatality in terms of mortality in most parts of the Western world. If you look at a corrected number with, let's say, India versus US, with regards to population and the patient per 1,000 patient bed ratio, we have about 90 to 92% lesser case fatality than US.
But people have lost.
That's a remarkable achievement.
But people have lost their livelihoods.
All the states.
But let's be very clear. Income decreased 66%, lost jobs 19%. 4 in every 5, more than 4 in every 5 have in some way their livelihoods have been affected. You're now telling us that this poll seems to suggest that people are applauding the government for saving lives, are worried about livelihoods, and at the same time are not willing to suggest that the center mishandled.
No, but it's not just about saving.
It's not. You know, it seems I would like to know how. I still don't have a rational explanation for that, Rahul. I can understand people supporting the government for its handling of the pandemic, but when you've lost your livelihoods and still are saying the center's handling of the economic distress, 67% are saying good or outstanding. That's
so people aren't just thanking the government for saving their life. They actually believe that the government did a good job on handling the economic situation caused by the COVID disruption.
Even while having lost their livelihoods.
Despite having lost their livelihoods.
That's the question.
But that's the data that is coming out.
Sure.
And that baffles the imagination, because if you've just lost your job or your income's taken a hit, surely you don't like what's happening. But Ajay Kumar, that just shows the kind of credibility the Prime Minister has and the kind of challenges the opposition has to deal with this man who, despite everything, despite people losing their job or taking a hit on their salaries, voters believe that he's done a good job.
No, the question again is the way you look at data, Rahul. I mean, I think one is that the biggest danger in democracy is hagiography. The second danger is that you look at your state's data. Why aren't you going hammer and tong saying what a great chief minister India has got? Because the same data, so what Ms. Sharma of BJP was saying, I find it very, you look at one data and say it is great, 70% approval, COVID reaction, Prime Minister is a great guy. Then you look at the same 70% good and outstanding of state and say, oh, by the way, there's nothing to it. So you have to decide what data you want to look at. I'm amazed, honestly.